Hey Pisces, welcome to October 2020. So, oh god, it's been a lot. Okay, these are nice cards. I'm not pulling an archetype because it was a big energy and I just felt like let's just keep it simple. Everything feels so complicated as it is. Alright, I think I got enough for us to dive in. So, let's see. We got the Six of Pentacles in reverse, the Emperor, King of Cups, High Priestess, Wheel of Fortune in reverse, the Lovers, the Eight of Pentacles, Princess of Swords in reverse, and the Star in reverse. Okay, interesting. Well, I'm definitely kind of initially drawn to this Star in reverse and the Six of Pentacles in reverse. I feel like there's kind of just a lot happening for you. We also got this Wheel of Fortune in reverse. And I feel like with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, you know, you can read the Wheel of Fortune in reverse in many ways, as you can read all the cards technically in many ways. But right now what I'm feeling with the Wheel of Fortune is just that there is a lot of change happening. And so it's not like that there isn't all this, like, you know, topsy-turviness. In fact, there is, and I think that because everything is just happening all at once, it feels like there's this sense of, like, overwhelm and just, like, kind of almost shutting down a little bit. And I only say that because the Six of Pentacles is about being in balance between you and the external world, like kind of having just this equal give and take between like what you give with others and like what you're giving to your job or your situations and what you're getting out of it. And then the Star is about healing and about hope and about kind of like this rejuvenation and about I think regenerating is a good word to use for this right now, because what it feels like, it's like there's so much happening and so much happening all at once that you are not really getting a chance to like rest and refresh yourself. And so I think that that's kind of like what I'm feeling for you at the top of the month, is just really feeling like you're grasping in a way to keep on top of everything that's happening for you. And I can't totally predict what that is. These are general readings, and I'm just reading energies. I'm not telling you specifics of what's happening to you. But I do feel like, yeah, you're just, I think, really needing a break and not finding space for a break. And I don't even think it's a matter of, like, a lack of self-care on your part or, anything like that. It's, like, not something you're doing. It's just kind of life is happening at you. And so things are feeling out of balance and you're maybe feeling a little depleted. And I think this Wheel of Fortune is just sort of like hard to keep up with. So I'm going to go further and see if this comes back. We got this Emperor, which feels a little bit like not helping per se. And we got this Princess of Swords in reverse. I also feel like kind of maybe what you're dealing with are concepts that are maybe difficult to grasp. That's what I got with the Princess of Swords, is just that there's like a confusion or like a lack of clarity or like a defensiveness or just part of like just this emotional overwhelm of like, I don't have a chance to catch my breath. It's like, I think you're having, like, to me this is like, I'm having a hard time processing. Like, I'm definitely trying to process, but I'm not, it's just so much, and it's just so much new information, and I'm having a hard time. I'm sorry, Pisces, like, I don't mean to, like, harp on you having a hard time, but the Emperor is kind of authoritarian vibes to me, especially in this deck. I mean, look, he doesn't look super nice, and he's really about power and control, and this could be manifesting as you trying to maintain power and control over these kind of like whirlwinds of chaos that are making you feel out of balance, or you being a little harsh with yourself, maybe kind of putting pressure on yourself to like get the clarity or like to get the answers or to find some kind of like resolution to what it is you're dealing with situationally, that is like kind of such big changes and so like much all at once. And so then we got this King of Cups, and I think he and his cool blue is a nice antidote to these like harsher reds and this authoritarian vibe, which is like, you know what, sometimes we all do need like a strong masculine presence or feminine, but you know, it's the King of Cups, and I'm not trying to make these readings super gendered per se, but I think we all kind of need some like positive masculine energy. Look, this is like kind of, to me, at least right now, the feeling of it is a little bit of like masculine energy and its detriment, which is like controlling, perfectionism, trying to be the best, trying to be number one, trying to like act like this chaotic overwhelm isn't a big deal and that you need to be toughen up and like get there and blah blah blah. Like that's sort of, and whether that again is you, a part of you, an inner voice that's kind of you beating up yourself, or an actual outer person who's being harsh with you, I think that this King of Cups is like, oh, like this is what we really need to lean on in these difficult, chaotic times. I mean, kind of like Obama comes to mind for me personally, but it could be, it's just the idea of a person, the King of Cups to me, and it, again, could be a woman, doesn't have to be a man, but it's like someone who makes us feel secure, someone who makes us feel held. Like I think, you know, especially with cups being water, being emotions, it's like for all of these chaotic emotions that are so difficult to resolve and that are kind of like making us feel out of balance, like I think it's really important sometimes for us to feel like held in a container, like kind of like a thunder blanket or like an anxiety shirt for dogs. Like I think sometimes we just need like a hug, we just need to feel held, we just need to feel kind of like we're not going to drown because this mermaid man is gonna, like, I don't want to say save us, because like obviously we're all on our own journeys and we're all responsible for ourselves and our emotions, and someone outside of us does not complete us or save us. But I mean, we are human and we need support, and sometimes we also, I think to me the difference between like the king, the masculine of the cups, as opposed to the water is like, I mean the feminine is like all about like intuition, right? And it's all about sort of this clairvoyance, and I think the Queen of Cups is more about kind of like she's the one who feels, whereas I feel like with this king, this masculine energy of the cups, it's like more like he is holding space, like he is giving us the room to feel all these feelings. And so I think that the queen of, so I'm just kind of like figuring this out as I'm going, but like I think the queen and the feminine energy is more about the empathizing and like saying like I've been there with you, and I think the king is more like it doesn't matter whether I've been in the same experience as you or not, I'm just letting you have the room to try to get this healing, right? I think that this King of Cups is like really like maybe a support system that we either don't have and need to find, or that is available to us if we just like reach out a little bit, right? Like I think that's like also part of like this whole notion of like us wanting to be saved from this like chaos or from like this like kind of abusive energy, is sometimes it's just a matter of I'm not being saved by this person, but I'm just reaching out to like get a hand, to get that kind of, again, a lot of this feels like emotional support. So Pisces, I feel like the message of the King of Cups that I've gone on and on about for a while is that it is okay to ask for help, and it is okay to not be strong and perfect all the time. It's okay to just kind of have a meltdown, even if you need, and to have to find that place where you can go through these big transformations that are occurring. Because I think if you just keep pushing yourself, and expecting to have it be on top of it all, meanwhile, and trying to find like that clarity, meanwhile you're kind of like drowning amidst all this changing chaos. I think it's not gonna work out. It's already not working out at that point. So, and I think the King of Cups, I don't know who the King of Cups is. It could be a real person in your life. It could just be you learning how to nurture yourself and how to hold your own space and how to like know when to call it quits, or how to know how to like create boundaries with this chaos. And, you know, I think, again, part of the chaos is life is happening all at once. So some of this might not be, like, choices you can, like, actually make. But I think it's just being emotionally honest with yourself, giving yourself space to admit I need help. And I think it's kind of also saying, like, it's okay to be authentic and imperfect. Okay. And I think once we get to this King of Cups energy, once we get to this kind of point in the journey where we're like, I literally can't run this empire all by myself. There's just no way. It's not possible. No one in my circumstance could do a good job of all the change and chaos that is being thrown my way right now. It's just ridiculous. So once we lean into this, we have some more positive energies coming in. We have the High Priestess, and we have the Eight of Pentacles, and we have the Lovers. And I love to see this, because this feels like maybe, you know, they have that silly saying, which is like, it doesn't get better, you get better. So I feel like in the midst of chaos, you're maybe coming to a point where you're like, I can't heal in this environment. These Emperor vibes are just kind of oppressive and not working for me. I can't manage all this change at once, and no one in their right mind could, and I'm totally out of balance. And it's just, nothing's clear right now. Okay, I'm calling on Daddy, basically, is what I'm trying to say. I'm calling on at least my inner, even if I'm a woman, and I'm totally single, and or a man, you could be a gay man. I don't know who you are. And again, gender is a social construct. This could be a non-binary friend, this King of Cups, honestly, who goes by they, them pronouns. I don't know. But what I am saying about this king energy of water, as you find this ability to like hold space for all these challenging, difficult emotions, and to admit that sometimes they get the best of you, or sometimes you feel like you're drowning, and in just kind of having that admission and that self-compassion and that kind of willingness to just say, like, I can't hold the weight of the world on my shoulders and it's impossible, I think that you are finding some solutions. I don't know what kind of solutions, but with this High Priestess, I feel like you are finding the breadcrumbs, at least. You're getting intuitive hits again. You're getting kind of like, for me, I love synchronicities just because they never really seem to add up completely. And they never really seem to like change much, actually. But I love synchronicities just because they make it feel like in the midst of chaos there is secret order, right? It just makes it feel like, okay, someone's with me. Synchronicities make me feel like even though this situation's really hard, even though I'm really overwhelmed and like feel like I can't heal in this situation, the synchronicities are almost like a little bit of this King of Cups energy I've been talking about, which is like, okay, if I just keep going step by step and just kind of like paying attention and like believing and having that faith and like also trusting my own inner knowings that I don't know where they come from, my gut, this could be your gut, this could be your heart, checking in with your heart, I think the High Priestess is sort of like, to me, along with this King of Cups, at some point it's like admitting I am lost in the darkness, but I have tools at my disposal to take it very slowly and to kind of get my own personal understanding and faith back. So, especially you're a Pisces, right? You are like literally one of the most intuitive signs in the zodiac, and that's partly why maybe Pisces can be, typecast as being crazy, is because, like you do have all these intuitive hits, and then maybe not with that Princess of Swords, the tools to process them or like to make full use of them. And so I think kind of coming to this meltdown breaking point is actually opening things up for you in a way where you're getting to slow down, not because the change is stopping, right? Like, I think this is still going on, but I think you're just kind of saying, like, I can't control the external world, but I can literally only admit that I need space for my feelings and control my own response and my own pace. So, like, for example, if at work you were under some deadline, this is like asking for an extension and not feeling bad about it. And just being like, I just need more time. What you were asking of me, this emperor, was unrealistic. So I feel like this High Priestess stands up to the Emperor a little bit. The High Priestess is like you and your inner knowing, and you and kind of like your relation to something bigger than yourself that is kind of like helping you reclaim work, life, love balance. Because then we got the Eight of Pentacles and the Lovers. And Eight of Pentacles is you getting back to work. It's like you also maybe getting into a creative flow where like things are coming to you a little more easily. I just feel like I don't know exactly what it is that's happening for you, Pisces, but I feel like you reach a breaking point where you admit that you need help and support and, space to feel your emotions and maybe just to cry. And that kind of release of just all this tension and all this pressure from the Emperor puts you back in touch with your inner knowing and your feeling of like, okay, like even though things have been really hard, like i.e. per synchronicities, there might be some rhyme or reason to all this. There might be some, I think for me, I just think, and maybe this is just a tribute thing about being human, but it's like feeling like there's some kind of pattern or order or kind of like reason or meaning behind things makes them a little bit easier to deal with, even when they're super hard. It's like Man's Search for Meaning, when that guy was in the concentration camp and he was like finding the meaning in life even in the worst circumstances. I don't think you're probably in a concentration camp if you're watching tarot videos on YouTube. So things aren't that bad, I guess. Okay, but they might still be really hard. Anyway, I feel like you do move into a better space. And as I said, it's not necessarily things are slowing down outside of you or getting better, but you're getting better. And you're also maybe creating more boundaries and creating more space for yourself to do what you need to do in the ways that you can succeed the best. And I think when you've created or found that safe container for yourself, whether it is just internally getting back in touch with your intuition, or whether it is like asking other people for help, then I think you find this renewed sense of like, okay, I can go back to my life and I can succeed and I can do really well. And I'm here for a reason. I'm doing these hard things. I'm being faced with these challenges because I have a purpose. I think this is ultimately at some point you reconnecting with your deeper sense of life purpose, especially with this High Priestess, right? It's like, I don't know completely the big picture of my life, but I know that I have enough intuitions and inklings and feelings and gut reactions that I'm capable of doing what it is that I need to do to get through to the other side of whatever this is. Maybe quarantine at large, maybe just the tension of this upcoming election, whatever is going on in your personal life. I don't know. But I think that like you kind of find this like peaceful bubble for yourself And I think you find the peaceful bubble because things got so hard and overwhelming that you kind of like had no choice but to really lean on these attributes that are very much in your element too, very much water. So I've said a lot about this Eight of Pentacles. Getting into creative flow, we got it. You've got a purpose. You've got something to do, something to say. You've got something you're excited about, something you are really good at, and you're getting the recognition, support, encouragement you need to keep going, and you have enough of your own sense of self and your connection to something greater than yourself that you can keep moving forward. The Lovers, I will end on this note. Look, I was talking to Capricorn about this, but I think something I'm trying to be really mindful of in my tarot readings is to be like have boundaries around love in love readings, because I heard someone say like tarot readings themselves can start to count or like to act as a third party energy in a relationship, because it's like if I'm like constantly checking on like, oh, what does so and so like me, or does this crush like me, or blah blah blah, then it's like, well, maybe I should just be talking to that person about that, you know, or like maybe I need to find out what it is within myself that like, I think tarot honestly can feed into like anxious attachment patterns in us. And I say that as myself. I say that as someone who has definitely leaned on tarot to try to like find answers in love. But I don't think any of us really want to be sitting here on YouTube like watching tarot readings about love for the rest of our lives. We want to be out there experiencing it. So the Lovers here makes me feel like I don't want to necessarily predict for you, Pisces, that you... Okay, I don't want to predict that you're meeting someone if you're single, and I don't want to, like, say that I know anything about what this Lovers card means for you in the external world on a literal level. But I think what is really important about the Lovers is to... And I don't want to say self-love per se, but I want to say to feel into the energy of love. Another tarot reader, Karen Rontowski, once said, what if God is just all the love you put into the world? And to talk about, like, going back to that King of Cups energy and this getting away from this kind of abusive authoritarian vibes, what does it feel like? And, you know, they say that about manifesting love anyway, that, like, sometimes the way to do it is just to act like you're already in love, and then love comes along. So I feel like with the Lovers here, it's kind of like it's been so stressful, it's been so chaotic, it's been so, like, dark, and you're just finding the light, right? And I think this Lovers card makes me think about, like, how can I feel into the energy of love? I'm, like, gonna cry. Okay. But it's like, I think it's really like that. Like, how can I feel into the energy of love? And how can I, like, maybe it's like watching a movie that really makes you believe in love. For me, like the Addams Family. I'm like, oh my god, they have the best relationship. Morticia and Gomez. And then I got a big crush on Raul Julia, so I was like watching his documentary just about like what an amazing person he was. But I feel like with the Lovers and this King of Cups, even if it's an inside job, it's like, how can I just connect to the belief that love is possible? Or what does love feel like? Because I think we can also in love get hung up on like specific people or like specific attributes we want. But it's like, you know, I've been realizing I just really want to feel safe and supported and nurtured and seen. And what does that feel like? Like, what does it feel like to feel like that relief of like, I'm seen, I'm understood, and I'm... So I think it's like kind of, even though it's really hard to give that to ourselves, per self-love, and even though it's like feel like very foolish to live in the energy or vibration of love when you haven't met someone, I think that the invitation, Pisces, is like that you are the love, and that you, like, God is all the love you put into the world. So I think maybe you are meeting someone, but I think what's more significant to your journey is really like being able to call on those loving feelings and to reconnect with them and to heal your disconnect from feeling loved, right? Because like maybe even sometimes we are loved by people, but we can't internalize it and we can't really feel it because we have something blocking us, like our walls or something, to protect us from like this asshole. Whatever. So that's kind of your reading. It's like, I think this is about, ultimately this is about healing for you, but it's kind of you're saving yourself by asking for the help you need, or by admitting that you are human and that you have needs. It's like the Smiths song, I guess, right? Like, I just want to be loved, or whatever, when he's all like, I don't know. Anyway, I think that there's a call to you to heal blocks from love and to reconnect with what love feels like for you, and to try to toss out the idea of a specific person, but to feel into kind of why we want love so much, that sense of belonging, that sense of connection. Trying to recreate it within you to the extent that you can, fantasizing about it, imagining it, but in, I would say, a healthier way than being specifically attached and anxiously hung up on one specific person, but more feeling into the vibration of what that energy is at large, and how you can also be loving to others, you know, doing, like, I sent love letters to my friends in the mail. You know, it's like, really, I think, finding your own practices and rituals to tap into love energy and to reconnect with the idea that you are the love high priestess too. And it might bring in love, but I don't know. I don't think that's the point. Exactly. The external relationship is important, but I think we're working on healing what blocks us from love at large. Okay. That's my reading for you. And I will see you again in November. Bye.